Welcome, everybody, to Dead Talk Live. Today, we have a very special guest in Chad L. Coleman, who is starring in this upcoming season of Superman and Lois, which is premiering tonight, March 14th, on the CW network. Chad, thank you so much for being our guest today. How's it all going?
I'm living my best life, man. Very exciting time. I've
That's
been anticipating this day, and I'm glad it's here.
So let's get right to it. You have a lot of stuff going on. Your new movie, The Angry Black Girl and Her Monster, just premiered at South by Southwest. Were you there for the premiere? If you were, what was that experience like? Just having your film being displayed at this huge film festival.
Well, it was electrifying and an amazing experience. I'll never forget it. That was my first time at South by Southwest, and it was just phenomenal. Phenomenal movie. The director, Bomani J. Story, fantastic. Leia De Leon Hayes, amazing, and carrying that movie and being the lead. Uh, Denzel Whitaker's performance spectacular, and Keith Holiday and all the other kids. Yeah, it's just knock my socks off. It's got everything. It's
It,
got the it's a reimagining of the Frankenstein story through the eyes of a young black girl.
exactly, and I actually have that in my notes here. Now, you play the character Donald, who is
Yeah,
Vicara's father. What can you tell us
yes.
about your character, Donald?
He's a man suffering the loss of his son. He loves his family, and the senseless death of his son is he's grieving that loss and self-medicating with substance and and trying to get himself together and hold his family together.
When you were presented with this script, whether the concept or you actually reading the entire script, what about it really stood out to you and made you really want to be a part of this project?
The way he was able to juggle the social political overtones with the gore and how close he was able to kind of stick to what the original Frankenstein story did, and then just obviously the real power and reimagining it, not unlike Hamilton,
Yeah.
with Lin Manuel reimagining it. So I saw the real power and force in that choice, and it's just a powerful piece of art that doesn't let you off the hook in terms of what's going on in marginalized communities.
Now, in The Angry Black Girl and Her Monster, for people that don't know, is this a horror movie? Is it a thriller? Is it a drama? What
It's
is
a
it
horror
exactly?
movie.
It's a horror
It's a
movie.
horror movie,
Okay,
sure, a
okay.
horror movie.
Would you classify it more like psychological horror or a little bit of both with blood, gore, and all that good stuff?
Both, both.
Okay. All right. Well,
Got the
that
blood and gore.
that definitely
Yeah.
sounds interesting. Now, your character struggling with your son's death, battling addiction. How did you get into the mindset to, you know, get into the mindset of this character and relate to him?
I've had it in my family, and I've seen others face certain challenges, and I'm a father, and about it was just accessible and necessary challenge to show the vulnerability of an African American man, and that it's the challenges of trying to take care of your family, but dealing with loss and not knowing how to and grieving. And these are all things that are so far from stereotype that I applaud that. So it was a complex human being, and I got a few of those on my resume. So I'm not saying carbon copy. I'm just saying that I've lived on the block before,
Yeah.
and I have no issues with living on that block because we need to see the truth and the vulnerability. So
Now, Leia plays Vicara, your daughter, who is sort of like the Dr. Frankenstein of this story, if I'm
yeah,
correct. Uh,
that's right.
how do you view her character? She's your daughter, she's your character's daughter. How do you view Vicara?
Oh, Donald co-signs his daughter thinking outside the box and expressing her brilliance. He's for that, but he doesn't know the degree to which she's going. But yeah, no, he wants her to be a free thinker and explore all of that genius inside of her. Yeah,
All right. Well, tonight's the big night, the season three premiere of Superman and Lois, premiering on the CW. You're joining the cast. Um, First off, are you excited to join the CW's DC comic superhero universe?
big time, big time. This is just fun stuff. It's harkens back to the young boy and loving Superman and the ties to like Christopher Reeves and then Henry Cavill and uh
It's an
so
iconic
yeah,
character. It's an iconic
as
character
there you
without
go.
any doubt. Now, you are listed
Yeah.
as playing Bruno Mannheim, a gang leader, sort of a gang head leader. What kind of character are we going to see in Bruno?
It won't read like that. There's a bit of John Gotti or Bumpy Johnson to him, but he's very classy and he's a father and he's a self-made man and he cares about the community and he cares about his child. He loves his wife. You're going to see a man that's very complex and layered, but his heart is for family and community. So that's what makes some of the complex choices he makes even that much more compelling.
Now, in the characters that you play, do you like to inject a little bit of your own take into the character? For example, let's take Bruno. Is there any element that you injected into Bruno that was not necessarily in the script?
Hmm. No, this we were. It was a meeting of the minds on this one. You know, what I saw and what they saw was the same,
Okay,
and yeah. So we didn't have any artistic conflicts, or I didn't need to try to impose something on it. It was all there. I was born to play the role. So
nice,
uh, yeah, we
nice.
didn't have. There was never any. If anything, it would be because I have this very rich baritone voice. Uh, sometimes it's just like I'm not even trying to lay into it, but they may perceive it that way.
Yeah, yeah.
So it was just a matter of calibrating that tone and laying back on it.
Now, are we gonna? I don't know if you're able to share this or not, but I'm gonna ask it anyway. Are we gonna be introduced to Bruno tonight or sometime as the season is progressing along?
Oh no, he's showing up in a major way right away.
So he's
They
dead.
they want this season. The season is very much about him being a formidable foe, dealing with Superman and Lois and John Henry Irons.
So the way you described him is sort of like he's not all this bad guy, but he is going to be an antagonist to Superman and Clark
That
Kent.
is correct,
Okay,
without a question,
okay,
without a doubt. But they relate to Superman relates to him different than Clark does.
gotcha, gotcha. Now, like we said, Superman is such an iconic superhero. What was it like getting on the set with Tyler and Elizabeth, who plays, Clark Kent and Superman and Lois, and working together? Did you guys click right away? Was there chemistry right there?
Yeah, without a doubt, everybody's bringing their A game. Wonderful chemistry. He is a very charismatic, gracious, funny guy, and Bitsy's every much a spitfire and so smart and so talented. So they respect my game. I respect theirs, and we liked each other as people, and um, and everybody was all in. Bring your A game. Uh, Glad you're here. Feel like you're gonna be a great benefit to the show,
Yeah.
welcome me in like that. And when we have a few mutual friends and things of that nature too. So,
I love
yeah.
your hat. What does it say?
Superman and Lois.
Superman and Lois. Awesome. That is
Yeah.
a great hat.
Yeah, I love it too.
Now, let's talk a little bit about, your time on The Walking Dead. You were a huge fan favorite as Tyrese. Looking back now, uh, after all this time has passed, you were on the show during its peak viewership. We're talking about 20, 30, sometimes 40 million viewers every
Yeah.
week. Uh, Looking back now, what kind of impact do you think that had on your career being on that show at that time?
I believe that it was a twofold deal. Only two other actors have bookends of The Wire and The Walking Dead. So I think it's always been the tandem of the two that producers, showrunners. Between those two, they have a desire to work with me.
That's cool.
I would include The Expanse as well, though.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
definitely. Now,
yeah,
you were in one of the most iconic episodes, The Grove, where you and Melissa McBride have to deal with the two girls, and where Melissa's character, Carol, had to put down Lizzie. What were your feelings as an actor reading that script? And that episode was also Michael Satrazemis's directorial debut as well. So,
yeah,
man, there was a lot of stuff going into that episode. What were your feelings on that
sure.
episode when you read that script?
Well, first and foremost, incredibly excited for Magic Mike, as
Yeah.
I call him, and knowing this was his first time at the helm, and all the conversations and excitement and the willingness to go, you get a Airbnb hotel and stay together, and so it was exciting from that standpoint. And the girls were fantastic pros who understood what was going on as well as we did.
Yeah.
Uh, and the episode was so heavy. Melissa McBride is just, an incredible artist, and having the opportunity to dance with her is incredible. The girls' parents being there, and it was just an amazing experience. We it was special. That episode has always stood out as like top five,
Oh,
in
yeah.
terms of the show. So
Yeah.
we knew we had what Scott put on that page. We knew it was incredible, and everybody just wanted to answer the call, and we did.
There's a powerful moment. I don't think it's that episode where Carol, Melissa's character, reveals to you that she's the one that killed your girlfriend at the
Yeah,
prison, and
that's it.
Tyrese forgives her. Very
Yeah.
powerful moment. Very powerful scene between the two of you. How did you and Melissa handle that? Did you rehearse it, or did it just come out naturally on the first take?
Well, we talked about it a lot. We had a lot of time to just talk with each other and talk with the mic, and then it was go time. And once it was go time, I only did it three times.
Nice. Yeah. I mean,
Or maybe twice,
talk.
and we just went for it. The dynamic of that scene is very much in the present, in the moment.
Yeah.
It's all the heat is already there. So,
Yeah.
uh,
You guys
so
nailed it.
just being alive and not anticipating it, and where there needed to be certain level of stylized because of like the cut to the close up of the hand on the gun,
Yeah.
making sure that the audience perceived that he may pick that thing up and take her out.
Exactly. We didn't know what was gonna happen.
We didn't know yeah. So calibrating that, and it happened. It just happened over two takes. It happened, man. It
That's
was
beautiful.
yeah, it was incredible. But
Bef-
very heavy, very heavy.
Very heavy. Great scene. Memorable scene. Before I let you go, the there was a lot of upset fans on in regarding Tyrese's death. They didn't think he got the death that he deserved. Do you agree
Mm.
with that? Do you disagree with that, or do you
I
think?
disagree with that. I've always disagreed with that. I understand, and I think on some level it has to do with the graphic novel. on some level, what people don't understand is that Daryl Dixon was not in the graphic novel. You would
Exactly.
have saw a different Tyrese if that character hadn't been created.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, Reedus used to say, Reedus thought when I got there, he was going to leave, that it was over for him. He said, I just kept giving you dirty looks because I thought you was going to take my position. I said, well, that couldn't have been further from the truth.
Yeah.
But so we fashioned a different Tyrese. And I think a lot of the, I'd say, traditionalists have a pushback with that.
Yeah.
But considering what we put together, that was an homage to that man.
Yeah.
It, to me, is a standalone episode that if you never knew anything about Tyrese and that's the only episode you saw, you would understand the man.
With
If
the
you could do that in one episode, then
yeah,
you're doing something right.
I totally agree with the hallucinations you were having as you were bleeding
Yes.
out, bit, knew you were
Yeah.
dying,
Yes.
and then everybody trying to save you, and
Trying
that
to say,
and that
but that
frustrating
was a
moment.
comedy of errors because they couldn't carry my figure. Little Rick and Glenn, boy, man, they fell 2 or 3 times trying to catch me. And I was like, yeah, that's right. I've carried the weight for so long that y'all trying to take care of me. I carried the like moral compass of the show and
Yeah,
trying to be a good person in spite of the madness. Well, y'all carry my big.
carry my
Yes, man. It was. We had
Chad. This has been a pleasure, man. Thank you so much for coming on here and
fun.
talking about your new movie. Again, the movie is called The Angry Black Girl and Her Monster. Superman and
Yeah.
Lois is premiering tonight, March
Uh,
14th on the
eight
CW.
o'clock, 7 Central.
8 o'clock, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central. Make sure to check it out. Thank you to Chad. Thank you to our audience, those of you who are tuning in live, and those of you who will be watching this later on. On behalf of Chad L. Coleman and myself, stay safe and stay walking. Goodbye, everybody.